Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Teresa and Giudice detailed what happened when Adriana Giudice encountered Joe Gorga's son. It was only a matter of time before the next generation of the Garden State's most famous family crossed paths without warning. In a moment that neither Teresa Giudice nor her eldest daughter, Gia, expected, young Adriana Giudice found herself face to face with Melissa and Joe Gorga's son, an encounter that renewed old tensions, stirred new emotions, and left onlookers wondering if history might repeat itself among the cousins. Though the explosive Giudice-Gorga chapter has been written and rewritten for more than a decade, this was the first time the kids found themselves the center of a story without the protective buffer of adults. And when Teresa and Gia recounted what actually happened, the moment took on a layered meaning, equal parts innocent, emotional, and symbolic. A chance meeting. The encounter took place at a local charity sports event in North Jersey, the kind where families intermingle casually, setting aside drama for hot dogs, field games, and sunny bleachers. Teresa had brought Adriana and Adriana for an afternoon free of cameras, while Gia tagged along to support her younger sisters. The event was crowded but relaxed until whispers began circulating that the Gorgas had arrived. At first, it didn't register. The Giudice girls focused on their game, boxing out anxiety and any awkwardness that might arise. But soon, the inevitable happened. Adriana, now more grown up and self-aware, headed toward the refreshment tables and found herself standing just steps away from Joe and Melissa's teenage son. Gia noticed first. She felt a quick tightening in her chest, memories of her family's splintered past flashing through her mind. She didn't interfere. Instead, she allowed destiny a quiet moment. Locking eyes. According to Teresa's retelling, Adriana placed her cup down, turned slightly, and then locked eyes with her cousin. It was the kind of recognition that didn't require a full introduction. They knew each other, even if time and distance had made them strangers. There was this long pause, Gia explained, emphasizing how unexpected it felt. It wasn't uncomfortable. It was more curious. Like they were studying each other, trying to understand who the other had become. No adults hovered. No cameras intruded. It was a simple, human moment, almost surreal given the family's history. Teresa's perspective. Teresa watched from a distance. Not spying, she clarified, but simply observing, mindful, protective, hopeful. In her words, she didn't want to interrupt a moment that could be important, even if it was just a passing exchange. Kids have a way of seeing things clearly, Teresa said. They don't carry the baggage adults do. Sometimes the heart remembers love first. She admitted she felt a pang, regret mixed with gratitude, regret that the cousins had grown up apart, but gratitude that they could still acknowledge each other without hostility. The conversation. Neither Gia nor Teresa claims to have heard the full exchange, but Adriana later described it as simple and nice. A soft greeting. A mutual, shy smile. A brief conversation about school, sports, and weekend plans. No mention of family rifts. No awkward tiptoeing around old wounds. Gia added more detail, saying the tone was surprisingly warm. They were polite, but also natural. It was like two classmates chatting. I think that surprised all of us how easy it felt, considering everything. The kids didn't hug or pose for a picture. They didn't pretend to be something they weren't. Instead, they connected for a moment in a way only children can, present and unburdened. A break in the wall. For Gia, watching her younger sister speak so openly to her cousin felt strangely healing. She admitted that she was immediately protective, ready to step in if anything felt strange, but she didn't have to. The encounter was peaceful, gentle, even hopeful. It was sort of a reminder that blood is blood, she said. No matter what adults go through, kids don't look at each other with the same baggage. Gia, who came of age on camera, has long expressed her feelings about the feud. She acknowledged that the family's struggles trickled into the kids' lives more than anyone intended. But Adriana's experience gave her pause. Maybe some things could still be mended, even if only through the younger generation. Teresa reflects on lost time. For Teresa, the moment brought back a flood of memories. Birthday parties shared between cousins. Summers at the shore. Holidays packed with laughter, long before cameras and contracts changed everything. She said she felt a deep sadness knowing that Adriana barely had a chance to grow up with her cousins. But she also stressed something new, a sense of acceptance. We don't need to rewrite the past, she said. But maybe the kids can write something different for the future. She made it clear this wasn't about reconciliation on a grand scale. It wasn't a hint that relationships between the adults were healing. It was simply a tiny bridge not big enough to cross yet, but big enough to see. Gia's protective hope. For Gia, the encounter highlighted a truth she's always known: love still exists beneath the rubble of conflict. And while she isn't naive enough to believe everything can be magically fixed, she holds space for the possibility that the cousins may someday reconnect more deeply. It showed me that the next generation doesn't have to inherit the same issues, she reflected. They deserve to know each other, if they want to. Gia dreams of a future where the cousins aren't defined by Bravo headlines or miscommunications amplified by the spotlight. Where they can find their own footing, on their own terms. Adriana speaks. Adriana reportedly described the moment as kind of cool. She didn't overthink things, she just said hello, talked about school, then moved on with her day. When Teresa asked how she felt afterward, Adriana shrugged, saying she'd always been open to seeing her cousins again. Her easygoing attitude struck Teresa and Gia deeply. The simplicity of her answer felt like a balm. She didn't see drama, Teresa explained. She just saw a cousin. What comes next? No one is claiming this brief interaction will break down years of division. Teresa and Gia stressed that they're not making predictions, nor are they planning anything. But they also acknowledged that sometimes progress doesn't start loudly. Sometimes, it starts softly with a hello. And maybe, just maybe, that's enough for now. A quiet lesson. The story spread through the event, not as gossip, but as a subtle hum, proof that even fractured families can find flickers of tenderness. It reminded everyone present that bridges aren't always built through dramatic confrontations. They can form quietly, almost accidentally, between the youngest among us. Teresa summed it up best: it's never too late for love to find its way back. Even if it's just in little moments. For the Giudice Gorga family, this was one of those little moments, one that may never make the show, but which could ultimately mean the most.